Alright, take two. Hi, my name is Carbine and I've made a mistake. So, several days ago, I made a video discussing a Vocaloid created by Tiki P I discussed a Vocaloid created by Tiki P called Hageshi Kikenne. And I, now, several days later, after I've reminisced on it, I now realize that I've made several mistakes. But before I talk about my mistakes, I'm going to talk about why, in the first place, I decided that I would review this girl's music and that I would criticize it. So, I think the main reason that I criticized her music was that it was on Spotify. Now, this may seem like a minor thing. This may seem like a small thing to nitpick about, but it's actually very significant, at least for me. Okay? Because to me, Spotify is a platform of innately higher quality than a lot of the other music streaming websites, such as Bandcamp or SoundCloud. Because on Bandcamp or SoundCloud, you can simply make an account. You can simply make an account and then upload the music immediately. Okay? There's no bells and whistles. There's no baggage. There's no paperwork that you have to consider when you upload your music. So the barrier for entry is much lower. And from that low barrier of entry, I perceive having it as like it being more acceptable to have low quality stuff onto it. But on Spotify, it's a lot different. So I have this pulled up here. Spotify for artists. To get your music on Spotify, you need to work with a distributor or with a record label who already has a distributor. Okay? So, putting your music onto Spotify is a lot more difficult than putting your music publicly as an artist on Bandcamp or SoundCloud. So, from that, from several days ago, perceived SoundCloud as a platform of far higher quality, of higher standards than SoundCloud or Bandcamp, because it has a far higher barrier of entry. Therefore, the things that are put there must have a valid reason to be put there. They must be of a certain level of quality to be perceived by their artists to be worthy of putting up onto Spotify, to match up with the quality of music that's already on Spotify. So when I see this girl's work, when I was looking up Sea Lily Deep Sea Tale for a cover on Spotify, I spotted her music and I started listening to it and I thought it was awful. And I still remain on the point is that her music is bad. Okay? But that's not an inherent reason why I decided to criticize it. Because if it was uploaded onto SoundCloud or to Bandcamp and not onto Spotify, just SoundCloud or Bandcamp, I wouldn't be judging it. Okay? I personally would not be judging it because to me, it's like judging a person's draft paper. Okay? It's like, why are you judging this person's draft paper? It's just a draft. It's not finished. Okay? It's not the final product yet. And to me, when your work is uploaded onto Spotify, you are essentially proclaiming that yes, this is the final product. This is how my work will look like into the future. And this has the amount of quality necessary to be worthy to be put onto a platform like Spotify. And that, when I listened to her music, I thought of it as arrogance. Because when you put your music onto a public platform, you need a certain level of confidence. Me personally, if I made something, for example, YouTube videos. If I make YouTube videos and I don't perceive them to be at a particular quality, I've scrapped numerous projects. Okay, if I don't perceive them to be at a particular level of quality, I wouldn't upload them. And that's on a platform where anyone can upload anything. But on Spotify, there is paperwork included, so you must be really, really sure really, really confident that your work is of the highest quality. At least that you have the self-confidence that your work is of the highest quality. And when I listened to her music, when I looked at those album covers, when I listened to the songs that she made, I thought that confidence was incredibly misplaced. Okay? I personally thought that level of confidence is very, very misplaced. Because the quality of her music was bad. It was genuinely bad. There's no way around it. There's no way to be lighthearted about it. Her music isn't good. So when I saw that this quality of music was being uploaded onto Spotify, I thought of this girl as being an arrogant and an unself-aware character, especially. I enjoy human beings who have a sense of self-awareness. And when I listened to those songs, I thought of this girl as being an incredibly unself-aware character who cannot reflect on her music and say that it's bad. Alright? I would like to emphasize this point. So, the way that it was uploaded does matter to me. That is it. I felt like I was criticizing an arrogant character and putting them back into their place. That was the goal that I was going for. And in a way, I said the things that I wanted. But my criticism in that video were not good. And I will admit this. I will admit this outright. So first off, I would like to say that my opinion on Spotify has been changed. And I will no longer simply judge a person for their judge music and judge a person simply because their music has been uploaded to Spotify. And I will now be more accepting of amateurish projects being uploaded onto Spotify. So, okay, my criticisms during that video were very, very minimal. Not minimal as in like I didn't have that much criticism. I was very, very reactive. And those reactions, that cringing reactions that I had during that video were serious. And not serious necessarily, but were genuine. Were genuine. That's the word. Those reactions were genuine. They were real. I did not stage them. Okay? Those were my real reactions to her music. But now that I've reflected on that video, I now realize that I should have had a lot more constructive criticism. I hate people who don't constructively criticize when they criticize something. And this is a downfall that I accept, that I acknowledge onto myself personally. Okay? I acknowledge that I should have spoken more on her music in order to benefit her music in the future. And I will admit the fact that I didn't know what to say. Okay? Music, a lot of it is feeling. I don't know anything about music theory. I don't know anything about Vocaloid. I don't know anything about Utao. Okay? One of the comments stated that Utao is incredibly difficult. And I get that. And I should have done more research when I was making that video. That was a mistake on my part. Okay. So, I lost my train of thought. Hold on. Okay. So, I didn't know what to say during that YouTube video, but I thought that if a person could listen to it directly, they would have their own judgment on that song, on the music that they're listening to. I thought that was a good decision because I didn't know anything about music theory, but I knew for certain that this sounded bad. And this was a bad idea because I didn't, what do you call it? I didn't do anything to progress her content. Basing your entire YouTube video on feeling is not a good look for yourself. And I regret for having done that. But in terms of the argument that utao is incredibly difficult, while I do acknowledge that, that doesn't change my perception on the music whatsoever. Because in my opinion, if you're making something if you're making something difficult for yourself, that is on yourself. Okay? I don't judge the product based on the amount of work that was put into it. I judge the product as the product that it is, whether it's good or whether it's bad. You can make a 5-hour-long movie for 10 years straight. But if it sucks, I will say that it sucks. And I will say that that time has been wasted. I don't care. If you make your movie on what do you call it? On those tape recorder cameras. I don't care that it takes 10 hours for you to render your footage. I don't care. If your movie sucks, I can appreciate the fact that you did your best, but the movie will still suck. Okay? That is my opinion. The way that you do something does not change my opinion on the product. If the product sucks, the product sucks. If you make something with less effort, but with higher quality, I will still appreciate it more than something done with a wasted amount of effort, a large amount of effort, but producing a low quality product. That is my opinion. Your opinion may be different on this. You may appreciate a person's effort more than their product, but I personally appreciate the product more than the effort put into it. So those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on this topic. Once again, I do apologize for Tiki. I do apologize to Tiki for simply bashing her work, simply making weird noises and not producing anything that may benefit her. Okay? I didn't give any suggestions to benefit her in the future. All I did was react to it in a very childish way. I do acknowledge that. It's my genuine reaction, and I will not change it. But I will admit that it's childish, and that I should have had more constructive criticism on her music. So that is my addendum. That this will be the last statement that I will ever make on this. Okay? I am done here. Goodbye.